Welcome to For Love and Play. I'm matchmaker comic Yael Meisels. With me is comedians Keenan Weaver and Louie B. For Love and Play, the show about dating like a goddamn adult. We're going to discuss who to spend your time with for love or for play. Let's do it, boys.
This show contains adult content for entertainment purposes. Listener discretion is advised.
Not a doctor.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks again for checking in on For Love and Play. I'm Keenan Weaver, back again, here with my favorite people, the Queen. Yael, what's going on, girl?
What's going on, my loves? I'm so excited. Louie, how are you?
Mazel tov. I'm good.
All right. Well, today we got a special episode. We're going to get real topical because something in the news has kind of taken the world by storm. Media has been all over this Lamar Odom incident where our brother is fighting for his life. And some people took the stance that it happened to be because of him dating a Kardashian. Is that how you say their name? I have no idea who those people are. Yeah, this is your wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, Keenan absolutely does know who the Kardashians are because he knows me. And in my head, I am like sisters and a daughter to Chris.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, in this fantasy, I am like a member of the family. I love these people.
You want to know?
Lamar Odom is a POS. What?
Lamar Odom is a what?
Lamar Odom is a piece of shit.
Okay.
Like, for crying out loud, okay? This guy comes from nothing, okay? I don't know what the situation with his mother is, but let's just talk about his dad for a hot second, okay? The dad was a drug addict, was a POS father. This kid literally, on top of his game, made his way into professional basketball. That is the NBA, right? That is the NBA? That is basketball?
That is the NBA.
Oh God.
Okay.
That is so fucked.
Mm-hmm.
That is so fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
And no one ever heard of a motherfucker before beautiful, talented, amazing, smart, intelligent, funny Khloe, the Queen Kardashian, touched down and rescued this boy from being nothing
I'm getting
to
so
talk
pissed
about
off right now.
celebrity.
I'm getting so pissed off right now.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't even.
Okay, first of all, I think is so commonly misunderstood about the Kardashian women. And I'm not including Caitlyn Jenner in this shit. Caitlyn, you're doing you, and I understand that, and you go, girl, and I really want to see this custom-made vagina with Kardashian money. However, this hoe ain't loyal. We all saw this bitch's Diane Sawyer interview, okay? She is totally, like, climbing on the back to fame of the best wife she could have ever asked for, which is Kris Jenner, okay? This bitch could be the most powerful man at whatever sport he excelled at when she was a dude. He was nothing until Kris Jenner came and was like, I'm gonna make everybody a celebrity. These women are loyal. They're loyal. They are so loyal in business. These women are ladies. Do you understand this woman's vision and creativity? She turned her life. She made herself daughter.
We gotta stop you right here. We have to stop you right here. First of all, I must refute your point of some Khloe chick rescuing Lamar Odom, who was a sixth man of the NBA, who was famous for longer than Khloe Kardashian and have been working in the media longer than her. So to even
he never had celebrity status before her.
He was in the NBA since the 90s.
Okay, he was celebrity in the sense of he's a basketball player. But I'm saying he was not a posh celebrity.
Neither is she. The only reason why she's famous is because her sister sucks some black dick.
Of another famous person.
But look at the careers they have. Kanye said it even himself. My bitch was the star of her own video.
That's it.
Yeah, a secretly taped video.
You know what, though?
Before
Guys?
he even met a Kardashian, this man was a two-time NBA champion. That's the top of the world. Like, it is.
I'm not saying he is not talented. I'm saying that he found himself a good woman and didn't treat her right. And I think it's disgusting the way that these women holding the shit down, really making something out of nothing. And the way that they just get chastised and beaten up over it, it's disgusting.
No, it's not.
It's disgusting. These women they're business women.
Okay, let's unpack that statement right there. So, are you saying, because you said that Lamar Odom, who hails from Queens, a project that is very tough, he came from nothing.
Right?
And you're also saying that the Kardashians come from nothing as well? Like, that's not the same thing at all.
They don't come from nothing. No, they don't come from nothing, but I'm saying...
So how do they make something out of nothing?
Okay,
in
so
fact,
let me explain something to you. All right, hold on. Does anyone know why the Kardashians were rich?
because the father was
Does anyone know where that money came from?
Chris Jenner, his first husband
Robert Kardashian.
was a lawyer
Robert
for O.J.
Kardashian.
Simpson.
High profile
O.J.
lawyer
Simpson.
that already had money.
The high
He already
profile-
had money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Here's
no. Chris Jenner and Robert Kardashian did
Who-
not grow up wealthy. They grew up
No.
probably middle class. I'm
we're
not saying
but we're not talking about them. We're talking about the kids, the Chloe, the Kims. We're talking about
okay,
them.
they grew up in Brentwood. I mean, listen, they had a rich
Okay.
father, but I'm saying they're
Exactly. They had a father with money. They had a father with money. To say that she's the one that rescued him is asinine when he's the person, like you started to say, came from a family that wasn't deeply rooted. The father was absent. The mother had struggles, but this man still made something of himself by himself.
No question, and he deserves mad props for it. But the amount of shit that his wife, that he did not treat very well, that he wasn't loyal to, I mean, that's just not fair. I don't think it's fair to blame her for all of his failures. I think he could not handle the level of fame that came along with being married to a global celebrity who could never drive out of her house without being harassed by paparazzi. I think that level of I'm married to this woman, look what I got, shot his ego so high that it put him in a position where he really could have any woman he wanted, because this was not his first wife. He has children from a previous relationship, I think a previous marriage.
Are we saying that NBA stars can't have any women that they want?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying they can have any woman they want, especially if they're married to a Kardashian, then every door opens.
All I'm saying is, once you get married to that family, you turn into a bitch. Look at Bruce.
These women destroy men. They destroy men.
No.
Let's try to wrap it up with them. I will say that there is a long-standing wake of guys falling in the dust from the women out of this family.
Exactly.
But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to
but look at Kanye. Here's the thing. Kanye came in. Let me just wait 1 second. Kanye was the man who came in to the door with something. The rest of these gentlemen, maybe with the exception of Lamar Odom, who had his own career in his own right, who in the hell was Scott Disick before Courtney? Nobody.
A model?
Nobody. He was nobody. Now he's a global celebrity and businessman. Before Courtney, he was nobody. Courtney took home the help and had babies with him. And then he drank and did drugs and fucked around on her time. That hoe's not loyal either.
I mean, I have no idea who that
Go
person
ahead.
Yeah,
but,
whatever.
And that's fine. We want to use the example of numerous amount of guys in the wake of this family, of dating a woman from this family. And I think Kanye is included, because he's definitely gone off the rockers since his engagement. So we'll add him to the list.
Off the rockers, how?
Kanye definitely was teetering on what you would think of
Sanity.
a genius in artistry for his beginning of the career. Yes, he had the ego, but he made sense in the things that he said. Then he gets with this girl, and this dude just rants. It's incoherent, it's mumbling, it's just ridiculous. And is it correlated? I don't know. I'm not going to point the fingers at her. That's fine. I'm just saying
I will.
There are a lot of examples that you can point to. So that we're using for our topic today is to springboard from that specific example to then ask the question, can women destroy men? And also vice versa. So it's basically,
absolutely,
does the wrong relationship with the wrong type person have the ability to destroy an individual?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to explain. That's what we want to prove examples of. Because I think personally, from my standpoint, and I hope you guys listened to our last week episode where things were veiled about signs and planets and things of that nature. One of the fears that I've had in getting a committed relationship is because I feel that relationships can do one of two things. They either can propel you forward or holds you back. That is it. There's no relationship that is just kind of cool. It's either you're becoming the best person that you can because you're with this significant other who brings the best out of you, or you're with someone who's going to bring out the worst of you. I really feel that it's that simple. And that's where my fear comes from, is choosing a woman, for me, that could potentially destroy me is scary.
Yeah, it should be.
And I also think that on the flip side, the women who exist that would help bring you forward and bring the best out of you, they are few and far in between. That's a rarity. So you have to spend the quality time to search for the right person. It's easier to find someone that's going to be toxic and destroy you than it is to find someone who's going to bring the best out of you.
Mm-hmm. 1,000%. 1,000%. I mean, I can even speak from personal experience. I married the wrong person, and there were devastating consequences that bared. I mean, it's like cleaning up after an emotional Hurricane Katrina. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm very selective. People have said to me numerous times, why don't you have a dating website? Why don't you people build profiles? Because it loses its personal touch with my clients. And also, there's been a change in the service. I now charge for my time because I found, not because I want to shice people out of their money, but I found that people wanted to ask about me. If you're busy worrying about what I'm doing and about me, I'm not saying you shouldn't research me before allowing me to give you life advice. For sure not. But when you're basically interviewing me, we're nowhere near touching what's going on with you. You know what I mean? And that's really why people still use a matchmaker, because you can have the baggage of a relationship where, like, a girlfriend of mine asked me thank God my divorce was 3 years ago at this point. A friend of mine asked me probably a year and a half ago, do you feel like you suffered mental and emotional damage as a result of living through that marriage? And it took me a day or two to answer her, but I said, yes, I totally do. I feel like repairing from that marriage was one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through in my life. And I married a person that, hand to God, I can honestly tell you, I married completely for the wrong reasons at the wrong time. I overlooked seriously important things that I knew would bother me, but I thought maybe I'll learn to accept them. I totally made a complete shit show of my life by choosing the wrong partner. And it took me a very long time to recover. I would even say the recovery process is still taking place. I'm just much better now 3 years after the fact than going through it in the beginning. So definitely a bad marriage can totally destroy you as a human being. Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that point. It's just a lot of us don't realize how just relationships affect us. Not necessarily a one-on-one, even just friendships or work acquaintances and things of that nature. The people that are around you and closest to you really help shape who you are. It's a reflection of who you are. And a lot of times we stay in toxic relationships that aren't the best for us. Sometimes it's because we don't recognize the signs. I can tell a story about two different type friends. I have one friend who he's just like we'll go with the typical nerd. We'll go to different seminars. It's always just like education. Every time I'm with this dude, I'm learning something. I'm being fed some type of nutrient that'll better my life. Then I have the other friend who is the typical partier, right? And yeah, it is fun times, but fun times led to like people being passed out in a bathtub. Like it's just different. It doesn't have to be.
It's a different kind of good time.
Exactly. Yeah, buddy. Sometimes those good times can go too far. So when you're specifically looking for a relationship like in a significant other, it's always quick to be caught up in, we always hear the cliche, women love bad boys and things of that nature, whatever the vice versa is for men, I have no idea. But, people do like that thrill, but sometimes that thrill taken too far is detrimental. Lou, you've been very quiet over there.
Right.
Oh, I'm just waiting to jump in because I've had shit ton of experience of me getting crapped on pretty much.
Okay, well, I would say that.
I mean, some of the stories I already told on air, and some stories I can't even mention for.
Why not? Why? We want to hear those stories.
Oh for seriously for legal reasons I can't. No, I'm serious. I'm dead ass. Like I don't feel like getting sued, even though they'll be true. I don't feel like getting sued, and I don't feel like yeah.
That is official. We will respect wishes. We definitely don't want you to have to go to court for anything.
I mean, seriously, it would harm the show if I was to talk about it.
That is a great example of how relationships, how dire they can become. Because I'm sure it didn't start out with the necessity of court or lawyers or anything of that nature. It probably started off, as most relationships tend to, under the cloak of paradise.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the one thing I can talk about is, of course, I was falsely accused of rape myself. And, I mean, long story short, she basically wanted to prevent me from letting her family know she was actually a lesbian.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That seemed like a very,
I mean,
adverse reaction or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I told the story on the show before. Yes. Yeah, many times.
But for our newer listeners, maybe you'd like to reiterate.
All right, well, a girl I was dating for 9 months, out of which I saw her a total of 4 weeks out of those 9 months, because she was always visiting her best female friend on Staten Island. I would take her out. We weren't sexual because she was like, I'm not ready for that, and I respected her wishes because that's what you do.
Right.
I didn't complain about it. It's not like, oh shit, I'm not having sex. It's like, okay, well, we're doing a traditional courtship here. But she was always at her friends, and it was always a subject of argument. How come you're always going there? We're trying to build something here. And she's like, oh, what? I'm not allowed to have friends? I'm not allowed to have friends? I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. It's just, I want some time with you too. So,
Right.
I mean, I don't, and she's like, oh, you're trying.
I've heard of a lot of good guys.
Yeah.
Guys finding out shit like this, like that.
Yeah, I mean.
So how did it come into play though, where you were actually accused of sexual assault?
Oh, basically when I went, because at the time I was going to college, I was, 19-year-old Louis B. going to college, working, so I had to make time to see her. I actually made time. Right. Would go in between class and work or after class to see her, or at least try to see her. And one Saturday, the rare Saturday that I had off from both work and school, I went to go see her. So I'm walking into the lobby of her apartment building, and the elevator door is open, and I see her kissing her best friend, Skylar.
Mm-hmm.
So she saw me. I then said, I guess this is over. And I start walking home pissed off, like I've spent all that money taking her out to the movies, fucking buying her dinner, and she's a lesbian. I could have been dating someone else. Like, and I'm just thinking, she didn't have to lie to me. Like, here's the thing, she didn't have to lie. If she would have just said, like, look, this is what it is, just, be cool and don't tell my family, I would have been like, fine.
Right, yeah. You would not have broken that boundary.
I'm sure there is no reasoning to this. There is no reason for this. There is no reason to lie. But I am not understanding the reasoning of that situation leading to falsely accusing you of rape. How does that get her out of not being a lesbian? Like,
because
yeah, we don't see the connection.
Okay.
It's not.
All right. So let me finish. Basically, her father, may he rest in peace, liked me because when I first met him, I gave him the firm handshake. I didn't give him the fist pump.
Right.
Which, I was taught that's how you shake a man's hand.
Yeah, you stepped up to a man and showed him you're a man. You got it.
Yeah. So, yeah, to this day, if another man gives me a fist palm, I want to instantly slap the shit out of him.
That's the next step, is you challenge them to a duel.
A duel. Like, excuse me?
We're getting away from...
Yeah. So, okay. So her mom likes me, and her brother likes me. So it would be weird for me to suddenly have just left with no reason, right? So she needed a reason as to why she broke up with me. So she tells her family that I raped her.
Got it.
So
got it.
So I'm walking home. I turn the corner on my block. A car screeches next to me. Her father, her brother's friends, her uncle come out. First question they ask: why did you rape Kim?
And you're like, what?
Like, huh? Like, she hasn't even seen my dick. What do you mean raped her? And it's like, I mean, rape her. And I was like, I thought it was a joke. I'm like, raped her with what? my bad intent, and they kicked my ass.
Whoa.
Like they
really?
Yeah.
Now, was this ever brought to the police? Were legal charges ever filed?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Wait a second. So they took her word for it that you raped her, beat you up, and did not go to the police?
They dragged me to the police station.
Okay.
They dragged me to the police station. I was sitting in interrogation. You know, the detective comes in. He's like, "Here, just sign this confession, and you get to go home today." And I'm like, "No, I didn't. But I didn't touch her." And he's like, "Look, if I leave this room, it's gonna come out worse." So you know, I'm like, "But I didn't touch her." He's like, "Okay, you made the decision." Little did I know, they're trying to get her to go to the hospital to get a rape kit done because she's telling this story how she thinks she might be pregnant now, that I didn't use a condom.
Wow.
You know, she has no injuries, obviously.
Of course.
Obviously no injuries. You know, the best friend is there, you know, and then, you know, they're like, "Look, we got to take a rape kit or we got to let him go because there's no evidence."
Right.
So and what I end up finding out, she recants. And she ends up telling her family the truth. Guess what?
What?
They accepted her.
Of course, that's their daughter, but
I got my ass kicked for nothing.
So my thing is,
these people.
here's what.
And then what happened? Okay, what happened afterwards was basically the police didn't want to hear what I had to say. They're like, "You lucked out. Keep your nose clean. Get the fuck out." And honestly, and at the time, you know, I was still living with my mom, and since I was a Jehovah's Witness, well, we're still doing that thing. I was dating her secretly. So I didn't want no more trouble.
Right. So you didn't want to press charges
I didn't want to. I just didn't want to go through. I just wanted to just like, all right, fine, whatever. Just take the L.
That is
so gross.
That is wild. It really is. I think we try to make sure that we try to be balanced in showing these examples and things of these nature. But I really think women have a little bit more power when it comes to like the court system and things like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, and
they're there for that protection.
Yeah. I mean, and I've told this story many times, and some of the reactions I get, "Hey, just fucking get over it." Why don't you be?
I don't think that's fair. I think that is a traumatizing situation. That would traumatize anybody.
Why don't you be gay?
Right, because I mean, it's just always for us. It's a joke. It's kind of like
of course.
It's kind of like this. So most people are familiar with the Ray Rice story or
Brian Banks.
Let's not even go with the Ray Rice domestic violence.
Oh.
Let's just look at Ronda Rousey comes out with a new book. In the book, she admits to violently hitting two of her ex-boyfriends. Mm-hmm. Yet she has become, quote unquote, this poster to go against Floyd Mayweather in his domestic violence. And it's just okay. She was on TV laughing about her hitting her boyfriends, laughing about it. Yet everybody wants to vilify a Ray Rice or Floyd Mayweather, whomever. There's a big double standard within that arena where here's a woman who we know is trained, trained to be violent. And she can, just because she's a female, she still gets to laugh it off on national television. Mm-hmm. It's a weird thing.
I mean, it's like, this is a point that I saw made on another video. If it's a movie about a man getting beat, it's a PG-13 comedy. If it's a movie about a woman getting beat, it's a rated R thriller. And it's like, oh, this just brings the conversation of domestic violence. And I'm not saying, look, like, before everyone jumps down my throat, I'm not saying men don't hit women. But the thing is, the statistics are, it's pretty much even, 50%, 50%. And also, when it comes to domestic violence, it's higher when in lesbian couples. And those are the statistics. You could Google them right now. I mean, it's pretty much the same. So I mean, it's a problem on both sides. But there are no battered husband shelters.
Right, the spotlight's not on that.
No, yeah. I mean, there's only one, and you have, and you know that, yeah, and that's in Canada, from what I heard. But if you're a man, if you like, usually the police will side with a woman. So even if she like try to cut you, you're the one that has to leave your house. She gets to stay.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, especially, and not even something that let's not go with the extreme case of like this domestic violence.
Okay.
Even if a divorce is happening, the guy leaves the house 9 times out of 10.
I mean, you want to talk about how men are destroyed in divorce?
Exactly.
I mean, it's like when Katy Perry divorced Russell Brand, they said that Russell Brand was entitled to some of her money. He didn't take it because I mean, at which money bet if he would have taken it, he would have been shamed. But if it was a woman and it's like she's entitled to more than half of his shit, oh, you go, girl, you take him for everything. It's almost like, you know, it's like that's how you know, some women hit the lotto. You marry a rich guy and you divorce him.
That's a lot. So actually, that brings up something to bring it back to Yael. The two couples that the couple that we were talking about at the top, Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom, they were married, correct? And
yeah.
I heard that
very quickly,
they were getting
though, nowhere near enough time to make such a decision. She was love strong, love sprung, and she was so. I think it's because she's 25. I don't think she would have.
Wait. Khloe Kardashian is 25
now, but
did you just say Khloe is 25?
She was. When she married Lamar Odom, she was 25. Now she's 31. No, when Khloe Kardashian married Lamar Odom, she was 25. Today, she is 31.
She looks 42 today, and she looked 46 5 years ago. I don't understand.
I don't understand. Okay, that is so untrue.
She does. She does not look
the beautiful women alive.
Oh, goodness, just her ass.
But I wanted to ask, the question is, I heard that they split up, but no divorce was finalized. Do you know the reason to that?
All right, time for Google.
I do not. I unfortunately have not followed the story as diligently as other people have. I also have a life of my own. But, I mean, there's a whole lot of love there, and I would even say there's a soulmate situation there. Here's the problem, in my opinion. Whether anyone agrees or not, okay, that the Kardashians deserve their fame. All right, that's a separate topic that I'd really like to address at a much later date, certainly not in this show. They are of the status of American royalty. They really are. I'm so sorry.
Right.
They have the fame, all the fame in the United States that the royal family has globally and in the UK. Okay, they just do. Whether you like it or not, they do. He was a celebrity in his own right. And obviously that opened lots of doors and did lots of things for him. He has never been in his own right, for the whatever reason, doesn't even matter, the level of celebrity that a Kardashian is. He was not ready for that fucking level. So you
don't have the answer to the question of why they didn't finalize the divorce, though, right?
No, but I know why the marriage didn't work.
Right, because he's just not ready for this fame that everybody else is ready for, right?
No, I'm not. Almost nobody. To be that famous, you have to be like Jay-Z. You've got to have your wits about you. Jay-Z and Beyonce, whatever their drama is, their wits are about them. If you're going to be that level of famous, you have to be a mentally solid, stable, secure, focused being, because that's the type that level of fame can ruin somebody. It can ruin you. Look at all the people that are ruined.
I don't even think you should say that you have to be a mentally sound, this, that, and the third, because fame affects many different people very, very differently. Some people are good at being famous, some people are not, and it's almost not fair to them. But that's a whole different topic. Beyonce is very good at being famous. Lauryn Hill was not very good at being famous. And it's something that it just happens. There's examples of all over the place of fame destroying each other. So, I mean, I don't know if that was necessarily what happened with this relationship or not. And that's really for another topic.
It is for another topic, but I'm saying it's a classic case of it. It's common and it makes no sense.
Because you can still say,
do drugs.
You can still say that she hasn't handled the fame well either. It's not like everything has been successful on her side. So, you know, it's just, like I said, fame can affect many different people, many different ways. And for the most part, it amplifies people's insecurities rather than amplifying people's qualities or best qualities.
Whereas in the Jay-Z and Beyonce situation, their fame amplifies all the good things about them. It does.
Right. And
they've actually been productive in
that took a lot of time. It took the right people on them. You know, Beyonce was groomed in this spotlight. There's a tale of caution to every celebrity. Beyonce's are the rare ones. They're the rare ones. There's only a few people that you can point and says, oh, well, she is handling her or he is handling his celebrity, his fame very well. Most people can't take it. I know me personally, I'm not going to be a good famous person. If that's in the cards for me, it's not going to go well.
Mm-hmm.
we just know it's not going to go well because I'm not personable.
See, that's so funny. I guess I'm very personable. So,
right. So when someone comes up to you, and
every time something big
love
happens
to say
to me,
hi.
I'll hug you, I'll say hi, I'll shake your hand. Because the thing is, I think that to even have like listeners to our show, it's such a blessing. I think that it's such a blessing that how can you not say thank you? Haters are going to hate. It doesn't matter what you're doing. There's always going to be people that just don't like you. They don't think you're funny. They don't think you're smart. They don't like you, whatever. Those people you're never going to avoid. But for the ones who do, say thank you for each and every one of that. It's just a blessing because you know what I mean? I think I take it on with very big responsibility that I want people to know going in, this is a person who's literally grateful for every interview, every moment on stage. I'm grateful for all of it. You know what I mean?
I think that's a good way to be. I think it's definitely good to be grateful. It's definitely good to be thankful. But sometimes there's a level of fame where people feel more entitled than they need to be just because you happen to be a talented individual. So there's just reactions.
Also, I think it's
like I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago I was on MTV2, right? And we were out.
Oh my God, that was amazing. You were so good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're out filming for this sketch, right? And there were people seeing the cameras, the lights, the producers, things of that nature. And since we're in New York City, there's just civilians walking around during the sketch as well. Now, some civilians would stop. They would read our signs. They would ask politely, "Oh, what's going on? What are you guys doing?" And then we would say, "Oh, we're shooting a film," or whatever, right? And that happened throughout the day. There's this one individual, though, who goes, he's on the sidewalk, he's walking past us as we're shooting. We were already out there for like 6 hours. So it was just a long, drawn out day. And this is just his first interaction with us. And he goes, "What the hell is going on here?" That was his quote that was his question, word for word, to us as a group. And I responded immediately, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And he goes, I was just asking a question.
That is so not even the way I would ever handle that. Oh God.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I'm different than you. So
yeah.
But I want to point out exactly, not necessarily my reaction. Listen to his opening statement. His opening statement is, "What the hell are y'all doing here?" It was just his inquisitive nature of trying to figure out what this, a lot of people were around watching us. He wanted to see. Curiosity, fine. It's cool to be curious. But listen to his approach to that situation is, "What the hell are y'all doing?" Right. So since I snapped back at 10, I gave him exactly what he gave us. I gave him, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And then he goes, "Well, I was just asking a fucking question. Jeez, you didn't have to as if I was the one who heightened it at that level. I just met him at where he started. Right. If he was like, hey guys, excuse me, I see you shooting here. What are you doing? Then I would have responded, "Oh yeah, right now we're filming. We're filming a student," like whatever. I would give him that same, but I met him at where he came out. But he wasn't even aware that he came out on 10.
Right.
Due to his response.
Well, he could just be a crappy person.
But that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen,
that's exactly what I'm
people
saying.
are everywhere. You know that.
Bastard.
You're famous, and I'm not even famous, and look how I handled that one. What I'm saying is, when you're famous, there's a level of entitlement from certain people that make the gratefulness kind of hard, right? It just makes it tough because there's certain people out here that don't have that same kind, polite approach to really say, "Yael, I really appreciate your work. I love what you're doing. You're so entertaining." And then your response would be, "Thank you. I am grateful for you as a fan." Like that would be the response. When there's going to be some people that come out on a whole different plateau, and that's not necessarily required from you because right. You happen to be talented. Right? Like I'm not a personable person. Like it's not anything against anyone else. It's just, I rarely say hi to strangers. I'm just a very introvert. I'm an introvert. And
right.
Because I'm a funny introvert doesn't necessarily mean I should be forced into being extroverted. That's like right. Raking my personality. But people don't take it that way. We also want to get back onto the topic of destroying relationships though. We have somebody that is willing to call in and tell us his story. Are we able to get him, Louis?
Let me try calling him right now. His name is Peter Goodman. He actually has his own podcast, but bring him on. Hopefully, I got Peter Goodman. He is host of the News Guy Show. Who he on Spreaker. He broadcasts every day at 6 p.m. Eastern. So check him out. He wanted to call in about this topic about how men have been destroyed by women. And what are your thoughts on that, Peter?
Well, I think that women have, as a result of feminism, and I don't think it's any result of any individual women or woman per se, but I think as this whole movement has infiltrated and taken over the mindset of the women, I think that this is what's been the problem, and it's upset the whole balance that we have, the male to female structure. And that's the fundamental problem with all of this.
Do you have
I actually agree. I agree with that statement. I really do. I have a very, I guess you could say, male-dominated career. I work in all stages of real estate. I'm one of the best foreclosure buyers in the very small number of us in New York City that actually, being a woman, can work with investors and developers and hold our own and not cry in the bathroom like a bunch of goons. Mm-hmm. But I think that the roles get reversed and women are really not. I think women are failing at being women. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that women, they have a traditional role in society, and not just in society, but just as part of their, and I don't mean this in a demeaning way. I think that it's a very positive thing, that there is a specific biological structure for the man and the woman, just in biology and just as the way that we're created. And this is something that's very, very important. But then as we've had this societal impact on us, this is what has changed us in a bad way.
To that point, online I read this article, and I won't leave the name. I guess it's somebody's WordPress blog, so I have no idea. But basically it says, modern women are a force to be reckoned with. We are certainly viewed as women who can change the world. However, in an ongoing fight to be seen as strong, important, and valuable to society, somewhere along the line, some women have lost their way. They have lost what makes them women, feminine, classic. One of my missions is to consistently encourage women to not lose their femininity while progressing and in some cases dominating in what is still a man's world. Mm-hmm. So that kind of sums up what you guys were trying to get at.
So Peter, do you have any personal experience?
Well, I really wouldn't say any personal experience. I would just say that in terms of women being trying to perform physically on the same level as men, they cannot cut it, even on a very fundamental level. They wind up asking the man to help them out, and while the man has to do all of his share of the work, he winds up having to do 50%, maybe sometimes even more than 50% of the workload that the woman is supposed to do. And this is just insane. And then when you turn to your supervisor and say, hey, listen, this is crazy, she says, or he says, this is, you just got to help out. This is a problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
See, I don't know. I'm one of those women who like to work, and I like my jobs, and I'm very good at them. But they are all in very highly male-dominated fields. But honestly, this is going to make you laugh. I hope it does. I can put a foreclosure building into contract. I'm phenomenal at it. I'm a Mary Kay consultant, and when I tell you people will buy a building from me, it's like a knife in my chest that no one wants to buy eye cream. I want to die. I hate it. It's funny because I still find my way to be girly because at my nature, I feel like I am. I have far more many girlfriends than I do guy friends, and it used to be different. I feel like as I became a mother, it kind of softened me, and I wanted to play a feminine but, constructive, powerful role in their life. I wanted that because at the end of the day, I want my son being raised in a single-parent household by a woman to marry healthy women. I want them to marry women who know how to make dinner, who know how to work, who know how to, care for themselves, mentally, emotionally, mind, body, and spirit. So if that's what I hope for one day for my children and a partner, I need to emulate that in myself.
Yeah.
Right.
That's very good.
So again, I have to ask again. I mean, because I want to stay on topic. What personal experiences? Do you have any?
Just if you up top, we were kind of talking about being in the wrong type relationship, somebody who brings the best out of you versus someone who brings out the worst in you. Do you have any just experience of a relationship that you were in prior that you realized that with this person you weren't the best version of yourself?
Like in terms of like a male-female personal relationship? Well, I don't really have that problem with my relationships. I mean, we already have been together for such a long time that we've already, I don't know, even if you want to call it a subconscious level, we've already worked all of those things out. So it's like when the role of the children come or the role of this comes or whatever it comes, we've already designated our roles in that automatically.
Okay. So talk to that then. How is that kind of like, what's the synopsis of that process? Since you've already worked it out, kind of explain how you did that. How'd you go about trying to do that? And how'd you go about finding someone that more so was able to, really fit in and be compatible with bringing the best out of each other?
Well, on that level, it's kind of like just a trial and error with the person that you're with. And I guess like if it doesn't feel good, then you just have to kind of talk it out and just kind of work your way through these things. But I don't know. It just kind of, I don't know. I've been together with the same person for such a long time that it's kind of hard to really, off the top of my head, think about it like that.
How long?
15 years, maybe even longer at this point.
Okay. So you've been married for 15?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's definitely.
Happily?
Yes.
He better say happily.
That's right. She's going to listen to this show. No, but I think it's important for people to
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to say that there's been ups and downs, but, listen.
That's part of being alive. You know what I mean? Ups and downs is a part of being alive. It's pulling through it and sticking together that gives it the substance and the longevity.
And I think that's the difference. That's the piece that I'm trying to harp on is when you are with somebody that is right for you, those ups and downs is something that you two work through together and each other are there to help each other. Like that's what the right relationship looks like versus someone else who, when the downs do happen, they are either there to kick you while you're down or pull you down or, different scenarios.
Yeah. And
I always tell people that the forever love comes with longevity and knowing one another. It's not instantaneous.
Yeah. I think the forever love comes with short life. So we're going to end there.
Mm-hmm.
We're closing in.
It is weird because, like, if I do meet a woman that I'm not, of course, obviously not involved with, but we get along, we are involved in some sort of a relationship, business-wise or whatever, and then I wind up interacting with this person, and then for whatever reason, I'm thinking to myself, wow, it's a good thing I didn't meet up with you later on, earlier in my life.
Right. You can see that. So, Peter, we want to thank you for being a guest on our show.
Yep.
Is there anything that you want to plug?
Well, the News Guy Show, which is on Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, on Spreaker.com. And you can also go to Facebook.com/The News Guy Show.
All right. Yeah, anything to plug?
Oh, my goodness. We have so much going on this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. First of all, I have stepped up to be the Director of Marketing for Elite Connect Real Estate, taking over the Northern Brooklyn region. The way I've been given a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I started my first real dream job this week. Monday night at 6:30, I'm going to be at Climate. It's a free show in the city. I've got a lot of exciting stuff going on this week. On Monday night, October 19th at 6:30, I'm going to be at Climate, an after-work show. On Thursday night, October 22nd, the boys and I are going to be headlining the He She Show at the Creek in the Cave for date night, where comedians give relationship advice. It's a free show at 10 p.m. in Long Island City. And follow me, Yael Meisels, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And for SoundCloud, Urban Humor YM, Louis.
You guys can listen to my personal podcast, The Crotch Shot Radio Show. I'm on iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Podcast.com, and also Spreaker. I have a show coming up in November 6th. It is the Laughing Buddha graduation show. I've been taking classes so that way I could be funnier for you schmucks. Yeah, take it away, Keenan.
All right. Everybody always knows my information. You can get all the updates on my website, www.keenanweaver.com. That's KENANWEAVER. Come on out. You can all meet and greet for our show at the Creek in the Cave. We'll hang out after. We'll talk to you. Make sure everybody's getting the right relationship advice.
And let's not forget, the network to be set up is now open, and I am taking applications.
That'll be great. I think we'll definitely have an episode where we figure out some matchmaking stuff to go along with this.
Yeah, we should like set it up like America's Next Top Idol or American Idol, whatever them. Or
Anyway,
yeah.
guys, we're gonna wish you a great day. Keenan,
Keep loving.
keep loving.